scary to them to be excommunicated, that they think it's the biggest measure they can take against a person. Of course, by that he meant that I'm going to say to your children and to your wife and all of your friends, family, not to talk to you. I told him, well, then release me, please. Do what you have to do. So, this is the point of this discussion today. You want to see the measure of the disintegrations of a religion, how disintegrated it is. Is it dying? Is it alive? This is how you measure it. This is my measurement tape. I see the writing of Baha'ullah is out there. Everyone knows it, especially the spiritual part of it, and the unchangeable part, as it is said by the Abdul Baha, which is kindness and love and bravery and giving and forgiving and generosity and service and humility, humbleness, whatnot. People are not too much into that because they're not like a horn to grow on your head that you could see it, so you would not be appreciated probably, even if you're generous. So they try to go to more those tangible part of the religion, although these two are absolutely related to each other. One cannot be without the other. They're doing more of that. They're clinging more into that, whether you're fasting or not, whether you're doing your prayer or not, daily prayers, whether you're going to the 19-day feast. Baha'is every 19 days attend the feast in which they know each other. I'll talk about that later. But are you doing those ceremonial things? Not so much that you're teaching. It's the most important part of being a Baha'i. Abdul Baha says, you stop teaching, there's no confirmation from God. It's done. On the other hand, if you teach even one person in your life, he says all your sins are forgiven. So you can weigh how it works. But the point of the disintegration, however, comes. That would be the tendency towards doing the tangible part, visible part, things that change in every religion, rather than doing the main things. That's a tendency. You see, that tendency is there, that society is going down. But the point of the disintegration comes when you see the actual order and the commandment of Baha'ullah, His Majesty, the Divine Majesty, the ruler and the creator of the universe, was manifested Himself in the body of Baha'ullah to us. People actually don't care about it because to them He's dead, gone. But they listen to their present day spiritual leader. In Iran, if you would have drunk alcohol, Muslim, they don't do that. Adultery. These are all the rule of Muhammad. You break it, okay. As long as you obey Ayatollah Khomeini. If you break the rule of Ayatollah Khomeini, you're dead. You're welcome to break the law of Muhammad. It's okay. That is when you know the society, religious, that religion is disintegrated. It's gone. People, they leave the commandment of the law of Baha'u'llah and they follow what universal laws of justice tells them. What assembly tells them. If assembly says anything and the National Assembly says anything, local assembly says anything, if you don't disobey that, you're gone. You're not a Baha'i. But you're welcome to break all the laws of Baha'u'llah. One guy was calling me from Seattle. He was cheated $800,000 by a Baha'i. His fellow Baha'i from Los Angeles. Let's bring his name. His name is Nader, he said. He cheated him. His life, this doctor's life, completely crumbled. And he was a good Baha'i, as far as I know. And that guy is still among the Baha'is. They don't call him, you're not a Baha'i. But let me talk about the writing of Shoaib Effendi on the book, like here right now, then they call me, you're not a Baha'i. I'm not a Baha'i, that fellow is a Baha'i. You can see why. Because that fellow broke the law of Baha'ullah, cheated another Baha'i that much money, destroyed his life basically, got a heart attack. He broke the law of Baha'ullah. That's okay, he's still a Baha'i. But I broke the rule of universal laws of justice. Therefore I'm not a Baha'i. Then you know this society is disintegrated. This is what Shoaib Effendi says. In the world order of Baha'u'llah, without the institution of guardianship, the entire fabric of the faith will be imperiled. There is no Baha'i faith, he says. So I brought that up. That's all I said. It's not even my word, his word. They told me that, you're not a Baha'i, get out, and we'll confront you. So because this lack of understanding, the spiritual understanding of the faith, they get the commodity of God, which is purely spiritual, they're using it in the physical way. It is, let me tell you how it is in my eye. Like Jesus Christ comes, he talks to people about faith and this and that. And this capitalist scouting to see who's good, they say, hey, you are really good. We heard you talking. Would you like a job? Come and sell some vacuum cleaner. They want to turn the power of Jesus Christ and the power that he has in talking to people in making money with it. That's exactly what it is. When you turn the faith of God from its original purpose, which was a spiritual, turn it into a commodity of making money or making friends and creating, dogma around yourself, everybody outside of my dogma, my little dogma with one window in it, everybody outside of it is out of the faith of God and gone. And they are really poor, have such a poor understanding. Virtually anybody in the planet right now, let's say North America, anybody, just get a Baha'i card, as simple as that. I want to join Baha'i faith. They say, what language you want to speak? English or Persian? Say English or Persian. What's your address? This. That's it. You're a Baha'i. Is that making a person Baha'i? And you call them Baha'i and the others not Baha'i? What is this spiritual understanding then? Thanks God. Baha'u'llah says they know the Baha'i by deed, not by word. So, this is... we have to be careful that the faith of God, which is the Baha'i faith, do not reduce it into a political, a social order. It is not it. Not. So, back to this spiritual relationship, this spiritual understanding. Let me go further down to explain this, how I have understood it. I've understood that, according to the writing, the spiritual understanding, if you have it, is a shortcut. It's exactly like a shortcut. Even Muslims have understood it. That's why they have the 7 valleys of love, which Baha'u'llah referred to it. And I told you this is not a Baha'i measures. However, it's Islamic things which was misguided. Therefore, Baha'u'llah have written these 7 valleys to explain what it had to be. But in the same 7 valleys says that these are 7, but one can pass the whole 7 in one single step, it says. There's no steps as such. But those people in the past, like Attar, Rumi, maybe others, they understood that knowledge is not required, information is not required to understand. And they created the 7 valleys, where it says the first valley is the valley of seeking, desiring, wanting to see God, to be with Him. And you go on, that finally you fall in love with certain figure that you think is so close to God. If this is a real figure, it may not be. If it's a real figure, like in case of Rumi and Shams, and the case of few of them, then you fall in love. And that love creates a knowledge and understanding for you. So, therefore, those Muslims and Christians and other religions who went and studied the Islam extensively. Baha'ullah refers one of them in the most holy book. This man, I don't know how many books he had written explaining the Islam. So you read those books, there's a lot of information. You then start out of this information creating your own book about how to get to the spirituality, to God. None of that may be useful. Even if it is useful, you have just taken a very long ways to go. Before I told you, in recognition of Baha'u'llah, how do you recognize him? It's very simple, really. If you want to recognize Albert Einstein, he goes in a village somewhere in China. I never heard of him. He says, I'm Albert Einstein. I said, okay, Albert, what do you want? I'm the physician. He says, what? I'm the physicist, great physicist. They don't know nothing about that. How would then somebody knows him? If the fellow went and studied physics and went right to the bottom, to the top of it, now he sees, oh, this is what Einstein says. Einstein is so big. How do you recognize Einstein? By knowing physics. How do you recognize Beethoven? By knowing music. How do you recognize Baha'u'llah? By having a spiritual quality. He's the manifestation of kindness, so you have to have some kind of a kindness in you. He's the manifestation of giving, of generosity, of sacrifice, of love, of even humility. You have no trace of these qualities and you want by knowledge and information to understand Baha'u'llah. I'm sorry, it doesn't going to help you. So what else then? Let's forget it. It's pretty simple. I have to be a man of conscience, fairness, good judgment, not prejudice, not going this way and that way. And I have qualities in serving people, in showing love, tolerance. You got those qualities? The way they talk about Baha'u'llah and his life history says, my God, that's my hero. Right away you know it. And really this is the case, that Baha'u'llah and the Bab, both in their most holy book, they talk about this fellow, the wheat sifter, from the province of Isfahan, from the city of Isfahan. When Mullah Hussein, the first disciple of Bab, goes to Isfahan, this man starts believing him, no problem. All these big guys with a large, background of studies, book writings, and everything else, they all disputed with Mullah Hussein. But this man was the first one who believed in him. Next thing he takes up and goes to the fort of Tabarsi, where the Babis were there fighting with the regimes, or the regime was fighting them and they were defending themselves. He went there and martyred. Both Baha'u'llah and Bab, they say that. What was the use of